Today, we reunite the original Love Boat cast as they take us backstage and share never-before-heard stories about the iconic celebrity guests who appeared on their show. Best-selling author and entrepreneur Amy Porterfield teaches us the path to financial freedom so you can give your 2 weeks' notice. And speaker Gail Meriel teaches us how to reclaim your confidence and rediscover your self-esteem. Welcome to In the Spotlight. Well, I am so excited to welcome three very special guests to our show today. Please welcome, as we reunite the original Love Boat cast, Isaac, Vicky, and Gopher, Ted Lange, Jill Whalen, and Fred Grandy. Well, welcome. I am so excited to have all three of you on the show. Thank you so much for taking your time to do this today when you have a show coming up in a few hours.
Of course, that's correct. Of course.
A hit show, I might add.
Well, listen,
great reviews, standing ovations, sellout crowds.
Exactly.
Can't get better than that.
Exactly. And having you three together can't be better than that. I heard that this is the first time, not obviously that you've all been on a press tour together, but the of you actually been acting together since Love Boat. Is that true?
Oh,
yes.
Well, Ted and I have done this show together before, but not with Jill. Jill, this is the first time Jill's been in the show.
So we finally got the Love Boat team back together again.
Yeah.
And what's wonderful about it, it has to do with acting and good storytelling, and not necessarily a television thing, but a theater thing.
And we're not on a ship, so none of us have to take Dramamine. So I mean that works out well too.
But you know what was really sweet, Kari, is that for opening weekend, Julie McCoy, otherwise known as Lauren Tweez, flew from her home in Seattle to come and see us and to support us and to spend the weekend with us. Which was
how nice.
Amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. I mean, what a special thing, just to get, isn't it amazing? I don't think people understand, and I have this with the cast members on my show as well, is that, when you do a show like you did for so many years, 10 years of your life, you are a family, like you become like a family. And have you found that, like, all of you staying connected and being supportive of each other all these years? What's that been like?
The family part, but it frequently is a dysfunctional family. Okay. Fortunately, we are not. And actually the whole family concept works here at the Encore Musical Theater because this is very much a family operation. So it's really a blending of two families, and that makes it that much better and much more fun to do the show.
But also what's super fun is we are living together. This is our own sitcom, is the three of us are living in a house together. And it's such a blast. I cannot even tell you how much fun we've had.
And that can only happen if you like each other. And we love each other. So that was a delight.
Yes.
How amazing. How long have you been living in the same place together while you're doing the show?
We've been together for 3 weeks now. We're finishing our 4th week here.
And we're still speaking.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is anybody like the resident cook in the house? Like, is anybody doing that?
I wonder who that could be.
Now, that sounds very chauvinistic. When she first volunteered to do this, I said, no, you have a job to do. You got a role to play. We don't want you to do that. But she insisted.
It was for selfish reasons. Yeah. I don't know how these two cook.
Yes.
I just wanted to control that narrative. For women of a certain age, food is very important.
Yeah, and my wife is going to be in trouble when I get home because I've been eating really good here.
I know. Well, Jill, it's one of her superpowers. She's actually so talented at that. And so how much fun. So let's talk about the show. This is so exciting. This is such an iconic show that you are doing. Maybe you could just share, how did this come about?
how did you pick this particular show, and how did you put this all together?
Okay, they're signaling me because 5 years ago I proposed this show to a theater in Syracuse called the Red House Theater, and I said I'd like to get my pal Ted Lange to play it with me, and they said, "Oh, that sounds great." We played it there. We were supposed to go on tour, but of course the pandemic intervened, so squash that. 5 years later, this wonderful director named Vince Cardinale, who did it with us in Syracuse and is on the board of directors at the Encore Musical Theater, said, why don't we try and revive it at the Encore Musical Theater here in Dexter, Michigan? We said, lovely. And then I said, well, what about if we get her to play my daughter? And they loved that idea. So the rest is history. We rehearsed for 2 weeks. We've been playing for a week, and it's been fabulous and kind of interesting for her because she's had 2 Love Boat characters play her father. One who was too good to be true, and the other is too true to be good. Just right here. So that's the story of this, and it's a wonderful play about family and friendship and the tragedy and comedy of growing old. And we have a lot of senior citizens who come to this thing, and the other day, this woman came up and she said, we love the show. My parents and I talked about that whole glaucoma thing for an hour afterwards.
That's what I can relate to that. I have those little floaters going now.
Oh, yeah.
When a new wave calls, you answer. When adventure calls, you answer. When the surf calls, you paddle out. When sunsets call, you find the best view. When the sand in your toes calls, you put more sand between them. When the ocean calls, you wave hello. Because when happiness calls, you answer. San Diego Happiness is calling you back.
So when I announced on social media to the fans of our show and just your fans in general that you were going to be on the show, they were so excited. And so they submitted a couple of questions that they wanted me to ask you. Are you guys okay if I ask you a few questions? Okay, we'll get to as many as we can, but I know you have a show to go. But let me go ahead and read a couple of them to you. So Angela says, I was a huge fan of Love Boat every Saturday night. I wanted to ask, did everybody get along on the show? I think I know how you're going to answer that. And she said, who was all of your favorite iconic guest and why?
Well, we didn't get along, as you can tell.
Yeah.
We did. We got along great. This is why we can live in a house together as adult people and have a blast. I think we all have different answers on who the iconic favorites are. I'm not going to, I have a bunch, so I'm not going to say who I know Fred's going to say. So I will say the one that is such a deviation from what you would think with Love Boat was Andy Warhol.
Oh, yeah, good. Very good.
That was pretty crazy.
Yeah, he was an interesting guy.
Yes, he was. And Halston. I mean, on the Love Boat. That's so random. But go ahead.
Well, for me, it was Ethel Merman who played my mother. I mean, when will you ever get to sing with Ethel Merman? We sang "You're the Top," and she did a couple of episodes.
When you can sing with her and be heard.
Yeah.
Sing out, Gopher. Did she from the back of the room?
Yeah.
Sing out, Louise.
Yeah, it was. There was a movement on the Richter scale when she would sing. But yeah, and she was, she was about our age now when she did the show, but still this huge voice and this wonderful personality.
Did she sing during the show or no, just act?
No.
We did
a musical, and she sang.
We did musicals. Ann Miller, Della Reese,
Cab Calloway,
Carol Channing,
Van Johnson.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a musical.
That's amazing because we had Whitney Houston on our show, and we had Sammy on our show, and we had the Pointer Sisters and all like an amazing experience, right? Like to have all of these, Milton Berle, Don Rickles,
everybody.
And whose was your favorite, Ted?
You know what? I went to high school with the Pointer Sisters.
You did?
Yes, I went to high school with them. Anita Pointer and I were in the same grade. And so I wrote an episode for them, and they appeared on the Love Boat, and I sang with them. I sang "He's So Shy" with the Pointer Sisters. It was a treat.
That's amazing. And, those are such fun moments because I just think like, what an incredible experience for all of us, right? To have like those, because I had the same experience having those people on our set. And, do you think like in any way that, like, what did you learn from those people, if anything? I mean, I know I learned a lot of lessons from good and bad from those people, including like when Sammy was on the show. Sammy was the most gracious, kind, wonderful person. He was so supportive to me. I was very young and still trying to find my way in the world, and invited us to come up to Vegas to see his show. And then we had some other stars on the show that weren't so much that way. And like, I know for me, I learned how to be and how not to be, like when you got that mega famous. Like, what did you guys have any lessons that you took from any of those people?
Well, I think what really kept those people apart from some of the ones that you're talking about was their professionalism that never left, even when they were in the twilight of their careers. Yeah. And quite honestly, we did get a lot of these people where their careers were nowhere near what they had been 10, 20 years ago. So they were very grateful to do this show. But the wealth of stories and the legends, and I mean, that was an encyclopedia of entertainment. And that was one of the great gifts.
Fred and I used to take out some of the old timers for lunch, and we buy them lunch, and then we draw these stories out of them, great stories. But that the old school, the old guard, MGM 40s and 50s, those guys were absolutely wonderful. And they taught us, they gave us some things, sometimes unknowingly, but sometimes not. They gave us a grounding on how to act and perform and be when you're a guest on someone else's show.
I think and I'm speaking generally because there's always an exception, but for the most part, the more iconic they were, the more humble they were. That's
true. Yeah.
And it was some of the ones who were young and upcoming who felt like they had something to prove that could be more difficult. Except for Tom Hanks, who was always lovely.
Yeah, he was
sweet,
good guy.
And amazing. But yeah, I mean, that they did. They taught you how to be or how not to be. And by the way, you're so right about Sammy Davis Jr. because I used to tour with him, and just a gentleman and an amazing human.
Predator Zip Lines, a high-flying 2-hour adventure that takes you over the grandeur of Out of Africa Wildlife Park. With 7 towers in total, you won't just fly, you'll soar over breathtaking views while learning about the majestic animals below as your guide educates and entertains you during your tour. Experience the wind ripping through your hair on a thrill ride over nature's wildest predators. Zip on at Predator Zip Lines.
So I know people would love to know, how can they find out more, like to keep in touch with when Fred's doing this show and all the things that you're doing, Jill, and your upcoming projects and, all the different plays that you're writing, Ted. What is the best place, Fred, for them to follow you? Are you Facebook, Instagram? Do you have anywhere where they can find out more about what you're doing?
On Facebook, that's probably the easiest way.
It's under your name, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, we'll post it here. They'll follow you there. And Jill's all over the place. What was that?
I'm on Instagram, official Jill Whelan at Instagram.
And on her Instagram, she did a video log of us coming here, our rehearsal period, and opening night. Yeah.
So how do you think I found out you were doing this and wanted to interview you?
Jill
and I are friends, and I saw that going on, and I called her and I said, I left her a message saying, I want to come see the show, thinking you were in LA.
Yeah.
And then she was like, who is this? Who is this? Because it was my other phone number that she didn't recognize.
So it's in my phone book now.
I'm like, what do you mean, who is this girl? Like, we've been on trips to dolphin trips together, and we've done known you since I was a teenager. Who is this?
I hope you have some of those dolphin pictures. I don't have any.
Yeah, I have a video. Okay, quick tip for all the viewers. So Jill and I had a woman that just amazing woman who loved dolphins and nature. And she put this whole dolphin trip together. She hired a boat out of Miami, and there was like 7 women that went out, and it was Jill and one of her dear friends, and me, a couple of other women, and they took us out in the Bermuda Triangle to swim with wild dolphins. And the way that they taught us was like that they would come, they don't feed them, but they would come to play, and you had to immediately dive in the water to swim with them. So every time there would be dolphins, all of us would be always prepared in our bathing suits and go flying off into the water. And it was amazing because they taught us how to swim like with our arms to the sides, where you kind of swim like a dolphin, and they would come right up to you. Do you remember that, Jill, how amazing that was?
Imitate what we did. If we went like this in the water, they would imitate it. And then there was one of the mamas had a baby calf who was always off in the distance, but by the 7th day or however many days we were there, the mom brought the baby in.
Because it was safe.
Yeah.
Because they got to know. And there was another thing, and this is a little risque, and hopefully it's okay for like network television. At one point, the guys told us this. They weren't in the water with us, the crew, but they said, if you take your bathing suits off, because they're synthetic, and put them in the raft, they will really swim close to you because they feel like you're not. So hopefully that wasn't a swerve. But we did that, and it was amazing. Like, we actually swam in the nude with the dolphins.
And their bellies would turn pink, which is a whole nother scenario.
That actually works with people, too.
Yeah, there's certain guys that you can do that.
We're, of course, working from memory. But
we would swim close to you, too.
Now I'm wondering if that was a ruse, Kari, because I'm
actually thinking the same thing. But honestly, if you remember, I did remember they did stay closer to us, and they did swim closer than they did without the suits on, but like hilarious, right? Because maybe it was a ruse but they weren't in the water with us, but we have actually footage. We have footage underwater of all of this, and I'll get it to you, Jill. I mean, it was an amazing experience. It was absolutely phenomenal. Okay. So Fred, we're going to follow you on Facebook.
Yep.
Under your name, okay, and Jill's on Instagram and Facebook, and then
Instagram, because I don't look at Facebook very often. So
follow Jill at official Jill Whalen on Instagram.
Yes,
and you'll see all kinds of amazing stuff, and she cooks on there, and she does incredible things and whatnot. And then Ted, where can they follow you?
Facebook.
Facebook. Okay,
under my name.
Okay, under your name. Okay, fantastic. And then the last thing that I want to say, for people that want to find out more about this amazing theater, I think it's and I'm going to put it up here on the screen. It's the encoretheater.org, if I'm not mistaken, right? Yes. And if they want to get more information about upcoming shows and things that you're doing in the future, I think am I correct in saying it's info@theencoretheater.org? Is that correct?
Yes.
That's correct. And they've just released their schedule for next year.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. So listen, I want to thank the three of you so much. This has been so much fun, and I'm so excited that you're doing this show together. I wish I'd known a little bit ahead of time so I could maybe plan.
You caught us, though. You still caught us.
Okay, I caught you in time.
Yeah, you did.
I hope you guys will consider doing the show again at some different theaters around the country.
Any theater that pops up that wants it, we're open.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. All right. You three have an amazing show tonight. So excited for you. And I'm sure it's absolutely amazing. And I can't wait to see it myself. Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, guys. Have a great show.
In our next segment, we put the spotlight on business owners that are making a positive impact in people's lives.
Well, hey there, I'm Amy Porterfield, and a big thank you to my sweet friend who graciously gave me the opportunity to pop in here with some exciting news. I'm hosting a live free masterclass experience to teach the 5 no-fuss steps to creating a profitable digital course. And I'm lucky enough to get to extend that invitation to you. Now, I've been creating courses for quite a long time. In fact, I'm kind of embarrassed to admit it, but it could be actually a flex. I've been creating and marketing digital courses before Instagram even existed. Yeah, I've earned over $100 million in my digital course business, but what I'm most proud of is that I've helped tens of thousands of other people create and sell a digital course of their own. Because once you've created one digital course, you have something that adds real value to people's lives, that sells without you having to be attached to the computer all the time, which gives you serious time freedom and flexibility to do, well, whatever you want to do. This live masterclass is 1 hour, it's totally free, and I'll teach you the 5 no-fuss steps it takes to create and launch a course from scratch. To save your seat at one of the live experiences, check out the caption below. I truly hope to see you inside of the masterclass.
If you'd like to join Amy for this incredible free once-a-year training, go to spotlightmasterclass.biz. It's time to put you in the spotlight.
So is it really possible to reclaim your confidence, rediscover your self-esteem, and become successful in both business and in life at any age? Well, if this is something you've always wanted, you're going to love our next guest, because she's going to share exactly how she achieved this in her own life and how you can too. She's an award-winning motivational speaker, the international best-selling author of Inspiring Women Professionals Who Boss Up and Dream Big, Do Bigger. Please welcome the founder of Success Redefined, Gail Meriel.
Gail, I'm so excited to have you on the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Kari. Very happy to be here.
Well, your topic, I think, is so important to pretty much everyone as far as having confidence and really tapping in to the best that's within you. I think the audience would love to know, why are you so passionate about helping people with this challenge that they face?
I struggled with self-confidence at a young age, and the way I coped with it carried on into adulthood with habits like overachieving and self-criticism. Striving to be the perfect professional, perfect wife, and perfect mother was so exhausting, and I often doubted myself and my abilities. I had a wake-up call that forced me to reevaluate my life, which led to a self-discovery journey. I am now living a more balanced and empowered life, and that's why I'm so passionate about my business. I've helped countless number of people regain their self-esteem and self-confidence, overcome their self-doubt while preserving their mental and physical health.
Oh my goodness. It's such an important situation. I went through my own challenges when I was in my 20s with self-confidence. And I think it's sometimes really hard when somebody has lost it to regain it. What would you say is the biggest mistake that people make when they are, maybe in some depression or they've lost that self-confidence? So what can they do? What's the mistake they make?
Mm-hmm. The biggest mistake that I see people make when it comes to self-confidence is going through the journey alone without any guidance or support. Self-discovery can bring up deep-rooted emotions that are sometimes tough to process alone. You may feel overwhelmed or get into that negative cycle of limiting beliefs and thoughts. Having a mentor will help you guide you through those challenges, help you see things from a different perspective, while being able to help you see the blind spots that you wouldn't otherwise recognize. So find that mentor that can help you through your challenges and celebrate your wins.
Those of us who play the game know that there is this intrinsic relationship between the challenges of the game and life itself.
In the process of teaching young people about a fun activity that requires hard work, dedication, some skill, we're teaching them that the attributes that make them a better golfer are the same attributes that are used to make a good soldier, a good doctor, a good teacher, a good parent, a good citizen, a good person.
The National School Program has really allowed the First Tee to have a broader and deeper impact on our society.
Every single one of our 13,000 elementary children are being touched in a very positive way, and their schooling is being changed for the better.
So So find that mentor that can help you through your challenges and celebrate your wins.
So that's so important, I think, because I think when we are alone with our own thoughts, especially when people are struggling with challenging times, it can just perpetuate, as you said, and go on and on. I know that you have been traveling the country, you speak, you're on many, many podcasts and really helping influence so many people. We have a couple of people that you have influenced and that have worked with you that really wanted to share how you had impacted their lives. And I also know you're doing something very, very special for our viewers, which I'm going to share about in a minute, but I would love to have them share right now. So let's listen to them right now.
Well, Gail's message in her story for women is that truly being authentic to themselves.
Her leadership is all-encompassing. Her character, humble, empathetic, but always truly being an advocate and trying to help individuals to be able to be their best in whatever discipline that they're trying to pursue.
For me, Gail's like a breath of fresh air, someone who's more authentic, someone who's been through what you've been through. So she understands the pain points that you're going through, and she's found a way to help you overcome that.
She really emphasizes on just truly looking within and finding your own spark, your own glitter, right? Your shine, and shine your own authentic self to the world.
What I would say to somebody who would be thinking about working with Gail would be jump in with both feet.
I mean, for me, if you work with her, you know you're in good hands.
She's fun. Gail's fun, right? I like her spunk. She's a great person.
Oh my goodness, Gail. How does that feel to hear people just sharing about how you have helped to transform their lives?
It's remarkable. I can't believe that my impact has been made to so many people. And what turned from a challenge that I had from a lifetime perspective is turning into a much bigger vision and mission for me.
Yeah, and it's such a wonderful thing. I think when you go to bed, you put your head on the pillow, you know that you're transforming people's lives in such a powerful way. We have something very special. I think when people are listening, I wanted to ask you, and then I'm going to share this special gift that you're going to share with the viewers. But if somebody's listening to us right now, and they're thinking, well, she looks so confident. She must always be this way, outgoing and positive and all of that. But you know that that's not always the case, but they want to get there. What would you say is the most important thing for them to remember about gaining or regaining their self-confidence?
Continuously soul search. Practice self-care. Find that mentor that can lift you up. And don't be afraid to take action. You may be in a dark place in your life right now that prevents you from having that confidence and motivation. Because after all, life is not always going to be sunshine and rainbows. But when those challenges hit, have faith in yourself to come out much stronger. Be bold and brave to be the person you were meant to be. And don't let anyone else define you.
That is such a powerful message, Gail. And for everybody who's listening to us right now and they're thinking, oh my goodness, I want to feel that way. I want to have some of that in my life, or I want to regain the self-confidence that I lost. Gail has put something very special for all of you. And we're going to share how you can take advantage of that wonderful gift right now. Oh, Gail, I'm so excited for everybody to experience that. Thank you so much for that generous gift. And I just want to thank you so much for being here today, for talking about this incredibly important topic. Is there anything left that you want to share to the viewers that you think they might be needing to hear about this amazing, amazing journey that you've been on and how it can help them?
I said it before and I'll say it again. Don't let anyone else define you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, honey, so much for being with us. Would love to have you come back and share again. And I look forward to hearing about all the people who you're transforming their lives and helping them be the most confident that they can be. Thank you so much for being on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you again, Kari.
Gail has generously offered all of you 2 free incredible confidence transformation gifts. Her first gift is Gail's self-discovery and empowerment guide, Your Transformation to Confidence and Empowerment. Her second amazing gift is the Self-Confidence Masterclass, which is normally $147. She is offering it for a limited time, complimentary, and there are multiple dates available. Again, limited space is available, but go to gailmeriel.com/confidence building package to receive both gifts.
Next, Kenny Loggins shares how we can pay it forward to those experiencing challenging times. Stay with us. Now we're going to hear from music legend Kenny Loggins, who shares his heart about how we can make a difference in our communities and pay it forward to those experiencing challenging times. So let's hear from Kenny.
Hi, I'm Kenny Loggins. The Unity Shop is now entering its 104th year of community service. It's come a long way since Pearl Chase and her volunteers set up their first Council of Christmas Cheer store on Haley Street. 33 years ago, I met Barbara Tellefson for the first time when she told me about this new concept of giving low-income families the chance to choose the things they actually need. It appealed to me as a parent. It was a safe harbor that the families could rely on for food, clothing, books, and the myriad of basic necessities that can provide them stability. And honestly, that was the kind of thing I'd been hoping to find. One place where I'd know that what I give will do the best for the most people. Today, over 20,000 people are referred to Unity annually by 305 other nonprofit organizations, churches, schools, hospitals, medical and counseling centers. 1,700 children volunteer yearly, learning how to run the distribution facility on Chapala Street, while giving a hand up to their neighbors and learning important job skills. The hope and healing Unity provides not just to these families, but in large part to the entire community, is impossible to quantify.
For the past 3 years, I've been volunteering at the Unity Shop. This has taught me that I can have the power to help my community, even as a young person.
We love working with Unity because there's so many things that they do for the community, and there's so many ways that we can get involved. From the toys program to the free grocery store and food delivery even. You know, everything is done with an eye towards giving somebody dignity and towards giving them what they really need. So we love being a part of that.
It's such a privilege to work alongside the wonderful staff at the Unity Shop. We're always looking for ways that we can give back to our community.
We are glad that we are able to support other families who need them.
The fact that most of the work done here is volunteer-based, it really turns around lives, not just in the sense that it gives people things, but it gives people like a purpose, which I think is really cool.
This place is revolutionary, really. So they really understand what it means to give according to need, and I think it's just super inspiring.
Unity is the only community distribution center of its kind in the county. As you can imagine, the number of people we see each week is multiplying rapidly. We desperately need your help to sustain this humanitarian, loving service to our fellow neighbors. To find out how you can join us, please visit unityshop.org. We're all in this together.
I want to thank Fred Grandy, Jill Whalen, Ted Lange, Amy Porterfield, and Gail Meriel. Be kind, be grateful, and let's all tell at least one person how much we appreciate them today. Thanks for watching In the Spotlight.